everyone. Thank you so much for joining me this morning here at Mystic Fitness. My name is Erin, and I'll be leading you through your class this morning. If you have blocks at home, maybe grab your blocks here. You may need them throughout your practice. And I always encourage students to, at any time, use props. You could always use a cushion at home if you don't have blocks, or a small stool. And to also take breaks anytime and modify any poses that aren't working for you today. So we have kind of a twist and cleanse theme for today. You'll see lots of twisting poses throughout our class. And I'm ready to rock, so I hope you are. We're going to begin today in a seated position. And if you're not comfortable seated, especially first thing in the morning, sitting on the floor might be a bit much. So just elevate your hips up onto a cushion or block if it's necessary for you. And then once you are ready, you will let your eyes float closed. If it's not comfortable to fold your knees in front of you or your legs in front of you, you could always sit back on the heels here. Let's start to take our way into our body and our breath very gently. Just inhaling down into the belly and letting the breath go. Inhaling through your nose and exhaling through your nose. As you continue to take long, slow breaths, bring some awareness into your spine. Notice that you're sitting up nice and tall, with the crown of the head reaching up, and the shoulders have softly fallen down from ears. Start to play with breath here, moving on to a 3-part breath, also called a Dirgha Pranayama. We'll begin our inhales, filling the belly, move on up to the low ribs, expanding upwards, and then exhale from the upper ribs down to the belly, drawing the low belly in and up just slightly at the end. Big inhale down into the belly, feel the breath spiral on up to the shoulders. And then exhale from the upper ribs, lower ribs, drawing the belly slightly inward at the end. And we'll continue this way on, just allowing yourself to find your own rhythm. Breath by breath, increasing the capacity of your lungs. And also noticing that this breath is very calming. So here we're getting a beautiful physical benefit of this breath, giving our breath more oxygen per breath, and also activating our parasympathetic nervous system that helps us find some peace of mind. We'll get 3 more. Two more. And 1 more. You can relax some of that effort, but continue to breathe mindfully. And on your next inhale, let's sweep 2 arms all the way up overhead. Tilt your closed eyes up towards the heavens. And as you exhale, we'll draw our prayer hands down to the heart, lift and engage your belly. We'll do that twice again. Inhale, circle the arms up. Exhale, prayer hands to heart, lower belly draws in and up. Last time, inhale, sweep the arms. Exhale, take your hands down to heart center, drawing the belly in and up just gently. We just want to activate the deepest core muscles that support the spine. And we'll open up our class today by uniting our voices and energies in the sound of Om, and prepare with 1 cleansing breath. Let's inhale together through the nose and sigh it out. And inhale for Om. Om. a joyous class, everybody. Let's open our eyes and we'll begin our warm-up here in a seated position. We've been here for a bit, so if you're uncomfortable, feel free to change it up, sit on a block, or maybe just switch the cross of your legs. I'm going to switch my legs out here just to even out the stretch in the hips. Then we'll begin with our hands on the knees, sit up nice and tall. We're going to begin to stir the spine. As you inhale, come over towards the right knee. Exhale, come around and back. Inhale as you spin forward and around. Exhale as you begin to curl it back. And you can start to let the shoulders kind of roll in and out, shifting your weight hip to hip. Really get into your own groove here and just start to get loose. We'll start to make these same spirals in the opposite direction. Inhaling, finding a little bit of an arch. Exhaling, curling as you come on back in the spiral. And if as we're moving, your body craves the other direction again, you're more than welcome to move there. We'll get about one more, so make sure that you feel even. And then we'll switch these up for some seated cow and cats. As you inhale, dive your way a little forward and up, draw the shoulders back, even look up. And as you exhale, you'll curl and rock back. Hold on to the knees for a little traction in the spine. Inhale, we'll come on up. Here's our seated cow. Exhale, curl and rock back, seated cat. We'll get a few more. Maybe your eyes are closed here, who knows? Getting into your own breath. Exploring your body. Last two. One more. And as you come to cat here, we're going to hold it. So hold on to your knees, begin to lift and activate the low spine. Tuck your chin. You can either stay here with the chin at the center, or just gently roll your head to one side. And then maybe you come back through center and roll it to the other side. And then maybe you discover that you're rounding the shoulders too much, so you draw the shoulders down and away a little bit. So just explore something here. And we'll just get one more here. And we'll come back to the center. And then we'll inhale, sweep both arms all the way up tall, getting ready to twist. Exhale, we'll come and twist over to the right. Inhale, sweep the arms up. And exhale, bend elbows, twist to the left. We're going to continue, and you can continue keeping your arms separated this way. It might be a little gentler for you. I'm going to give you another option the next time around that we come to the right. Maybe inhaling arms overhead, all fingertips touch in a flame mudra, and then exhale, drawing the flame to twist to the right. Inhaling, reaching up, maybe flame touches. Exhale to the other side. One more each way. Getting our first little bound of twists in our practice here. Inhaling all the way up. Exhale, flame twists to the left. We'll inhale the arms all the way up overhead and exhale, draw them through heart center and make your way onto hands and knees as we explore our first downward facing dog of class. So we'll curl toes under, spread fingers wide, and lift your knees up, begin to press your hips back. Really grip into your mat here with all 10 finger pads. Bend one knee at a time. We'll start to gently warm up the back body. You want to take it very slowly at first. And maybe when you come into your still down dogs today, you don't worry about straightening out those knees ever. Or maybe gradually they straighten. We'll take about 2 more pedaling it out. And we'll begin to find some stillness here in our downward facing dog. And bend your knees and then press the hips back more. So we're really concentrating on lengthening the spine. Once you're here, draw the shoulders a little further away from each other, like you're trying to roll the pits of your elbows a bit forward. We'll come into a little down dog twist to open up the side body. So let's just pivot both heels over towards the left. Really press into the right hand a bit more. Keep the knees bent and press back, and feel that little opening through the side ribs. Whenever you're ready, you'll spin your way back to center. Keep the knees bent, pressing hips back.
And then we'll pivot the heels to the other side. And if you notice your body's not interested in this, you're welcome to come back to down dog. Let's spin our way back to the center. Press the hips more. One more breath here. Let it go. Look forward, bend your knees a lot. And on the next exhale, we'll step one foot and then the other up towards the top of the mat. Inhale to half lift. We'll keep the knees bent, but there's a lot of action in the low belly as the hands rest onto the shins. Stay here just for a moment. Really engage the deep core muscles. One last breath in, strong. And then exhale, surrender and fold. Really let yourself just hang here, loose. Again, bent knees to soften the back body first. So we're taking hamstrings out of it at first. You can walk a little side to side, or maybe you shake your head out. Releasing anything that's happened this morning. Just let anything roll off your back. Practicing to let things roll off our back in the practice room. And then hopefully we can take that off the mat with us. Especially coming into the holiday season, we can get a little stressed out. Let's just let it all go here. If this is too deep a stretch for you, at any time, you could always take your hands, or your arms rather, onto the thighs and have a little extra support here. We'll be in 2 more breaths in your fold, in whatever way suits you. Final breath in and out. The inhale will take you to extended mountain. Press into both feet. Inhale, lift up through the low belly, all the way up. Lift your soul to the sun. And as you exhale, we'll draw the hands to heart center, and we'll take all those good sun rays into the heart. I'm going to pop back to the mat back here so you guys can see me a little bit better. And we'll find our first sun salutation 8 together here. We're going to do it a core style vinyasa way. So we're going to add a little extra core work into our practice today. We'll inhale the arms all the way up overhead, reach up. And as you exhale, hinge with soft knees, allow yourself to fold. Inhale halfway. Exhale, hands come down. We're going to step to down dog. Instead of to high plank, we go right to downward facing dog. We're going to try a waved plank. So here's your extra core work for the morning. Look forward, bend your knees. As you exhale, lift your hips, tuck your chin, and roll one vertebra at a time to plank. Inhale in your plank, squeeze. Exhale, we'll lower down slowly all the way to the floor. Tuck your chin, inhale, cobra, working the upper back here. And then as you exhale, we'll press our way up and back into downward facing dog. Take a deep breath in. And a full breath out. You can sigh out your exhales. Sighing is such a beautiful way to release stress. Do whatever you need. It can even be a big old lion roar. Sometimes we have a lot of stress to release. We'll take one more breath in down dog. And let it go. We'll come through another sun A here, giving you a different option to lower down. Inhale, look forward, knees bend. Exhale, we'll walk the feet up towards the hands. Inhale, a big half lift, hands to the shins, lower belly strong. Exhale, fold and surrender. Inhale, rise all the way up, extended mountain. And exhale, hands to heart center. Kind of absorb that one. And let's go again. Inhale, arms reach. Exhale, bow it down. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, hands plant. We step our way back, downward facing dog. Maybe you jogged it back. Let's get ready to roll the plank. We inhale, look forward, different than walking the plank. Exhale, curl and roll, one vertebra at a time into your high plank. Squeeze your glutes, lift and engage low belly. Exhale, drop your knees, either come all the way to the floor or a modified chaturanga hover, holding here. Shoulders are higher than elbows. Your inhale is either cobra or up dog here, sliding through the arms and lifting thighs for up dog. Exhale, make your way up and back to downward facing dog. Breathe it in Let it go. 2 more breaths here. Discovering your best down dog. Final one. Alrighty. Coming back to the front, inhale, look forward, knees bent. As you exhale, you can walk, or if you're feeling frisky, you can try a little hop there and get your feet towards the hands. Inhale halfway. Exhale, soften the knees, bow, totally surrender. Inhale, reach all the way up, press through the inner arches of your feet, grow tall through the core. Exhale, hands to heart center here. So we'll come into a chair with the feet, hips width apart. Before we go there, we're starting in mountain. So let's just find our way with our feet hips width. Engage and lift the pelvic floor just a bit. Hands are facing forward, shoulders are dropped down. We'll take our arms up overhead on the in-breath. And as you exhale, we're sitting the hips back into that little invisible preschool chair and taking the arms forward. So I find that taking the arms forward helps me slide the hips back in space, because we don't want to look like something like this. It puts a lot of pressure on the knees. I can feel it already. So it's just like if I took your hips, if there was a belt, and I'm taking the hips back a bit. We're going to come back into those flame twists. So you want to take all the tips of your fingers together. Take a breath in. We're going to sit through all of these. Exhale, twist to the right. Good morning. Inhale, reach forward. Exhale, twist to the left. We're going to inhale, reach forward. Exhale, twist right. Continue to move. Lengthen it on the in-breath. Exhale, twist it out. Let's twist and glow and cleanse. Last couple. One more each way. You could always come a little bit out of your seat if it's getting to be too much. Come back to center chair, reach the arms forward. On your next breath in, we lift all the way up. And as we exhale, we bow. We're going to take a nice big fold here, maybe a ragdoll this time. If it feels good to go ahead and grab elbows, you'll allow your arms to frame your head. Hanging nice and heavy here. You can sway, or you can stay still. Again, if it's too much, this is a lovely modification. I do this a lot. Just letting your arms rest on the thighs, keeping your spine long. Let your head hang. Maybe hands are on blocks here. One more breath. Release the grip you have. Inhale, halfway belly strong, hands onto the shins. Exhale to down dog, hands plant. Step or jog your way back there. We'll take our right leg to the sky now. Here's our 3-leg downward facing dog. Bend your knee, open up the hip if it feels good. Otherwise, you can keep the leg just stretched back. On the next in-breath, we'll take the leg back straight, 3-leg dog, hips level out. Exhale, curl knee into the chest. Let's try to pick up and curl the hips. Tiger curl. Feel like a fierce tiger here. Inhale, stretch the leg up. Exhale, one more tiger curl, but we'll keep the knee in this time. And then step to the right hand. So we're right away coming into a runner's lunge twist. This is a pose I love to use a block for. So if you have one, you will bring it right underneath your left hand. Maybe it's on the high, the medium side, whatever side works for you. I'm going to take our right arm up to the sky. So we're going to bring a little movement into this to help loosen up the joints a bit. Take a big breath in. As you exhale, you reach for your back leg, bend the back knee. Inhale, sweep up and straighten the knee. Exhale, flow and dip. And really let yourself get into it. Like it's a beautiful dance between your breath and your body. And there's really no wrong way to do this. So see which muscles can expand more. And notice as I'm coming overhead, I'm allowing my elbow to bend because that makes my shoulder happy. We want happy yogis. Take one more. And then we're we're going to let this peel ourselves open into the most delicious runner twist ever. Feel long and strong. One more here. We're going to use that same action of the arm to bring us up into our high lunge. So take a breath in to prepare. Exhale, you reach your arm back, circle it forward, but this time we'll lift the torso up. And now we're in our high lunge. If you want to take a low lunge, you could always drop the back knee down. Bending the back knee is appropriate. It gets deeper into the hip flexor on the back leg. It also stretches out the quad a little bit. It's a little too intense for me at the moment, but maybe that feels good for you. Reach your arms up to get up out of the ribs, but then take the shoulders and kind of roll them down your back. Make sure you're lifting and engaging the front spine. Last breath here. We're going to make our way into an airplane from here. So to get there, I'm going to take my hands to heart center to begin with. That helps me feel grounded. And begin to lean a little bit forward. Bending the back knee, going to lift up and then take the arms out. Now I'm kind of toeing my back foot forward a bit. It's my first balance of the day, so I'm going easy on myself. Now maybe you don't need to go so easy and you just lifted that leg right up. But you want to make sure you're really using your core muscles, especially in the front spine, rather than yanking on the low spine. Hands can be out to the side, heart center, whatever serves you. When we're ready, we'll make our way back to the lunge. Try to bend the front knee, sneak that toe back. Arms reach up. Awesome. Let's take a big breath in. Exhale, hands down to the ground. Step back. Downward facing dog. Take a moment in your dog. Really tune into your legs. Noticing the difference here. Couple of breaths. Squeeze your fingers into the floor to protect the wrists here. Want to make sure that your shoulders are well behind the wrists. And then we're going to switch our sides here. So let's take the left leg super high up. If you want, on an exhale, you'll bend the knee to open the hip, trying to stack the hip over the right. Press both hands down, especially the left hand, into the floor. Inhale the leg all the way up. Exhale, deep core, brings knee in towards the nose, pick up the hips and round, mighty and fierce. Inhale, sweep it up there. Exhale, try one more. It's the deep core that brings it in, not so much hip flexor. Then step to your hand. We made it for our delicious twists here. We're going to take our right hand onto our block, whatever height is serving you. Left arm up to the sky. Take a breath in. Exhale, the top arm circles back, knee dips. Sweep up and around. You may or may have not noticed I changed my block height. That's because every time I come onto my mat, I treat it like my very first time and I just do what I need in the moment. I tried to anyway. We'll get a couple more of these. Just noticing the parts of your body that's starting to feel better. And then allow that action to peel yourself open and we'll hold the twist. Deep inhales. And long exhales. Find a focal point or a drishti. If it's not comfortable to look up, you could always look down. Getting ready to transition, inhale, reach your arm up a little higher. Exhale, it circles for the back leg. Continues to circle around, front spine lifts you into a high crescent lunge. We're just gonna hold it. You can bend the back knee. So this side's different for me. Bending the back knee feels kind of good, so I'm gonna go for it. You can lift the arms up to remind yourself to get out of the ribs, but then you always wanna take the shoulders down a little and feel the front spine hold you. Long inhales. Long exhales. Beautiful job, last couple. All right, we're getting ready for our warrior 3 or airplane. I like to take hands to heart. For me, that grounds me. If you have another place to go, fine. Press and engage the fingers towards each other, lean forward a little. Begin to find a little bend and a lift. Arms can come out to the side here. We're trying to internally rotate the lifted legs so that your toes point to the floor. Try not to grip the floor with the standing leg toes if possible. And then we'll make our way gently back to lunge. Front knee bends. We sneak the back toes down. And then we arrive. We did it. Big breath in. Exhale, hands to the front foot. Step your way back. Downward facing dog. Let's take a big breath. Let it out. 2 more. 1 more. Let's look forward. Knees bend, belly engages every single time. Keep the engagement, either a walk or try a hop, feet to hands. Inhale, halfway, squeeze. Exhale, fold and soften. As you rise, press to the inner arches of your feet. Let's give it a go. Inhale, lift through the inner arches, the inner thighs, the deep core, all the way up the heart to the sky. And exhale, hands to the heart. Take a moment just to absorb what we've done so far, either with your hands at heart center, or maybe allowing your shoulders to relax and just taking the palms to face forward in your mountain pose. So we rush a lot through life. We rush a lot through practice sometimes. It can be really nice to just take a moment to absorb our experiences. So take just another moment there. I'm going to grab a little water, so if you need to grab some, you could also do the same. And then if you did have to come into reality and come into that water break for a moment, let's see if we can re-ground, and how quickly can we re-find that place of connection. Connection with earth, the sky, and ourselves. One more breath here. Beautiful. If you have your eyes closed, open them up. We're going to make our way into a balance here on the right leg first. So keeping all of this engagement that we have in our mountain feet, toes are going to point forward. We'll take hands onto the hips. Bring more awareness into your right leg. We're going to lift the left knee. Find somewhere to focus your eyes. So what we're going to do is grab a hold of the knee, but not with the left hand, with the right hand. Oh, who sees where I'm going? All right, we're going to try to twist here. If it's a lot, stay here. Or it's a lot, but I'm going to try it anyway. Begin to twist yourself open. So I'm going to drop my foot down. Twist here, holding your leg. Maybe you reach your hand back. I'm going to reset up, see if I can get there. So this is a very brave pose for me to try to do on camera because it knocks me over every time. But you know what? I'm kind of in it. My knee isn't up like my ego would like it to be, but I'm still feeling that same action. One more breath. And then let's unwind ourselves. Your knee may still be up. And we're going to drop it down. And then we're just going to kind of let our eyes close and shake that side off. And then we'll allow ourselves to find stillness. And we're going to try the other side. So without thinking about how the first side went, we're going to start anew. Let's clear the air. Inhale, arms reach up. Let's gather all the energy from the room. Exhale, take it to your heart, lift and engage the belly. Bringing awareness into the left leg. Hands can come to hips. I kind of am liking them at the heart right now, so I'm going to keep mine there. Taking your hand onto your knee. If you want to just stay forward, you could bring your right hand onto your knee and the left hand onto your hip. If you'd like to go for the twist, switch the hands out and see, oh, a little bit better look on this side, if you can keep it there. So the action is this lifting. So even if you're here, it's cool. Do what you can. So all those little muscles shaking and baking are learning, right? It's all good. One more. Come back forward. And then we land. And whether you think your landing was graceful or not, I think it was, because it was just perfect. Shake it off. It's nice to make yourself do scary things, like a pose you know you're going to fall out of on camera, because then you realize it wasn't even scary. It was no big deal, right? It's totally cool. So let's see where the rest of our practice takes us. Let's wake ourselves in, find our awareness here in mountain once again. And we'll move through a vinyasa flow. Inhale, arms stretch up. And as you exhale, you hinge and bow all the way. Inhale to half lift. Let's take it back, down, down again. And gave it a little jog that time, just for fun. Inhale, knees bend, look forward, grip the ground. Exhale, roll your plank. Inhale, lowering either to the floor or that modified chaturanga, squeeze and lift the belly, get the most out of it. Inhale, upward dog here, or your cobra. And exhaling, taking it up and back. Let's take the right leg up to the sky, a big breath in. Exhale, knee into the nose. Pause, step to your hand, and we're coming to warrior two. So we'll ground the back leg. Maybe cartwheel your way up, whatever way works for you today. You will need a block for this next one, so bring it near your right foot. And then once you've placed your prop and you have it where you need it, check in with your feet. You want your front heel either in line with the middle of the back foot or with the heel itself. And then we'll spread our wings. Finding that light or maybe a little bit stronger engagement of the transverse abdominal muscles that surround the spine. Sure, you could stay here without it, but it makes you stronger. It's kind of a nice, confident feeling. I'm going to flip the front palm, right hand. Inhale, sweep up, a little reverse warrior here. And then exhale, take your way into extended side angle. We'll take our arm up overhead. So we want our block for our extended side angle and triangle flow today. If you don't have one, what you could do instead is hold on to your shin. Either way. I'm going to take an in-breath here. As you exhale, reach towards me, or the long end of your mat down. And as you inhale, straighten your leg, peel your arm up and reach up, kind of like you're pulling back a bow. Reach on down on the exhale, bend your knee. And then inhale, peel open. Exhale, reach for the earth. Maybe grab a big, beautiful bit of it. And then reach it up towards the sun. We'll continue to warm up for our triangle pose a few lovely times. And then we're going to hold in our triangle. You want to make sure you are not locking out the front knee. It might be easier to hang out there with a locked knee because you're locking out the joints. But over time, that can wear and tear at the joints. So although it's a little harder to keep the knee slightly bent, you're getting stronger and it's healthier. For your last few breaths, if you want to add in a bind in triangle, you can turn your palm to face back. Your thumb will point to your back foot. Bend your elbow. Press your palm into the lower back. Remember to keep your neck strong, so we don't want to let it hang down. That can be quite painful, right? So your head weighs about 7 pounds, I think. So you don't want that hanging on the muscles and the tendons and joints there. Take your time here now to reach your arm back up. We'll inhale to reverse warrior, front knee bends, up and back. And then exhale, back to warrior two. 5-pointed star, pick up your right toes, pivot on the heel. Stretch your arms wide, and if your legs are like so wide apart that you're like, whoa, I'm gonna fall over, just step them a little closer together, right? You wanna feel solid. Inhale, a big breath here. And then as you exhale, knees bend and bow your way down. So maybe blocks. So one of the key things you wanna remember in your folds is you never wanna feel, kind of go to the side so you can see my back, really rounded and hangy here. That's just gonna really pull at all of the vertebrae. You wanna keep it as long as possible. So that means sometimes we have to bend our knees. That means sometimes we don't come down as far. But over time, there are micro changes happening that you might go further down one day, but it's really not so important. What's important is that you're getting a beautiful stretch and that you're getting out of your head, finding a deeper sense of connection. And I could go on for hours. Every pose has so many benefits on all different levels. We'll take 3 more full breaths here. Inhaling, let your belly fill, the breath rises up into the shoulders. Let it go. One more. Good. Let's inhale and find half lift. I love that little wave spine every time to work the core. Hands come to the hips on the exhale. Level out your feet. You want to make sure that your feet are holding equal weight throughout. And then on an inhale, we'll come all the way back up to standing. We're coming back to warrior 2 on the right side. Pick up the right toes, pivot on your heels, spread the arms. Coming through vinyasa, flip the palm, inhale, stretch back. Exhale, cartwheel hands. Pick up the back heels, step to down dog. Option to stay or add your vinyasa, bending the knees, looking forward. Exhale, roll and wave. Inhale, so strong. Exhale, either to the floor or chaturanga hover. I'm opting for the floor this time. Tuck chin, cobra pose, gorgeous back strengthener. Exhale, press it up and back. Downward facing dog. Take a couple of breaths to absorb what you've done. One more. And then on the left, inhale, legs sky high. Exhale, knee draws into the nose. Pick up and curl. Place your foot to your hand. You could always go kind of around the chest and back in if it's not making it. And then find your way to warrior 2. You want to make sure when you get there, front knee is over the front ankle. Toes and knee are always pointing in the same direction. So a common thing that can happen here is the front knee starts to roll inward, and we want to make sure it stays pointing out over the toes. Maybe your gaze is towards your thumb. If you find your shoulders are giving you stress and they're hunched up, take them down. One more. Flip the front hand, reverse on the in-breath. Exhale, extended side angle with block. Hopefully you've got it there. If not, you're going to hold on to the shin. Arm reaches up. Take a moment to feel this part of it out. Then take a big in-breath to prepare. Exhale, reach down. Feel your ribs move there. Inhale, straighten and peel open. Exhale, bend and reach down. And just let yourself get loose and do it at your own pace. It's almost like a side cat-cow in a way, letting your ribs just move here. We'll get a few more of these. And then eventually you will put your way all the way up into hold triangle. And if you want to take another one of those little wavy ones, totally cool. You can play around with the front knee, just finding that perfect little micro bend for you. Trying not to feel kind of hunched over if possible. Keeping yourself almost as if you were in between 2 panes of glass-ish, something close to that. If you tried your half bind on the other side, maybe turn your palm and take your hand to the lower back. Last few. Remembering not to let the neck hang. On this last breath, really think about taking the crown of your head and keeping it in line with the spine, very long. Hand reaches back up to the ceiling now. Let's inhale, bend the front knee. Inhale, sweep up and back here. And exhale, cartwheel, down, step, downward facing dog. A big breath in. And out. 2 breaths. One breath. Let's inhale, look forward, bend the knees. Exhale, walk, or trying our hop once again towards the hands. Inhale, halfway. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, rise all the way up. And exhale, hands draw to heart center. Last few poses standing before we make our way down to the floor. Might need a block for this one as well. We'll start off in our Parsvattanasana on the right foot forward. So we're just going to take the hands onto the hips. We're always lifting and engaging the belly because the more we practice that, it becomes automatic and it really helps throughout your day, not only on the mat. Begin to take your left foot back so you can kind of balance and step it back or just inch it back. But we're going about 2.5 feet, something like that, apart. Not really long. Front toes are pointing all the way forward. The back toes are as forward as they can be with the hips, or the feet rather, hips width apart there. They're going to point out a little bit. Hands into your back pockets here. Let's roll the shoulders down. Lift up through the front spine. As you exhale, hips press back as you begin to bow forward. This is your Parsvattanasana, intense side stretch. Hands will then drop down to the floor or blocks. This will help you readjust yourself here. So you want both hips level, so in the same plane, and trying to press them both back equally. So trying not to let the right hip kind of twist and come forward, pushing that right hip back. So with my fingers on the floor, I'm even using my fingers for a little bit of traction there to press it back. And just to let yourself be. Blocks are great if the floor is too far for you to be comfortably. Let's inhale and wave our spine long, getting ready for a revolved triangle. So now we'll bring our block under the left hand. You can use it on whatever height. I'm going to use, I think, the highest height today. Begin to twist to the right. Move your hands on the hip at first so you can try to really activate and twist through the mid-spine there, not just up at the top. And you can reach your arm up if it serves you. So front leg is straight-ish, but you do have that micro bend in it. Keep yourself nice and long throughout. One more breath here. Final round. Let your hand come down, unwind. We're going to make our way out, taking your hands onto your hips once again. Lift up through front spine. And we'll take the hands down, step the back foot forward. I'm just going to try the other side now. Lift and engage. We always approach with a calm awareness. And then we'll begin on the other side. Lifting up the right leg, stepping it back, just adding a little tiny bit of balance in there as we make our transition. And if you don't try to find your perfect foot placement here, but feel free to adjust later. Hands to back pockets, lift the chest, engage here. Exhale, bow down. So in every back bending posture, really in almost all of your postures, you want to engage your transverse abdominal muscles if possible. That's just going to prevent too much pressure on the lower back, which is a very common problem. And I don't want to cause you any problems. We're trying to keep ourselves safe and correct for any imbalances in the body here. Taking a few more breaths in the fold. One more round here. Let's inhale, wave the spine long. Make your way into revolved triangle, whatever size block you want. So it comes directly under the shoulder. Left hand onto the left hip. Start to twist, try to get it to happen from the mid-spine and not letting your hips kind of come out of alignment there. We try to keep them where they were. And then the top hand can reach up. So this is one I always have to check in with myself that I'm not starting to hyperextend the front knee. So take your body checks. If it's not comfortable, look up, look down. Almost there. Last breath in. Exhale, hand comes back down. We'll inhale to half lift. Take hands onto the hips on the exhale. Now there's more pressure on the front foot, so you really have to engage, feel the belly, and then we'll press up to standing here. Back leg will come forward. Kick your block out of the way if it was in the way. Arms come up overhead just to reset. And exhale, we'll take hands to the heart. So we're coming into one final balance before we come down to end out our standing series. So we'll come back to where we began, retracing our steps here. So we find our way into mountain. We're going to keep the right leg down. So this time as we step back into Parsvattanasana, we're going to add a little extra balance into it. So we'll take the left knee up. Arms come out to the side. See, I rushed myself. Airplane. Bend the standing leg. We'll make our way into airplane first. We're going to hold our airplane for a few breaths once again. Making some small adjustments along the way. Maybe you're pressing more firmly into the standing leg, or maybe you're trying to more internally rotate the lifted leg. Another breath. This time landing in Parsvattanasana feet, back foot lands, but not quite so far. Hands come right to the lower back. Inhale, we'll lift the front spine and look up. Exhale, bow your way down, Parsvattanasana. We'll inhale, half lift, grab your block, coming back into revolved triangle here. Sweep the right arm up to the sky. From here, we're going to see about going into a revolved half moon. And if you don't want revolved half moon, I will give you an option of standing split. I will show that to you second. So for revolved half moon, bring your gaze down to the floor so you can see where you're going. You're going to take your left hand forward a little on the block. Lift the back leg up. Now you might need to come out of the twist for a moment and then retwist. So I actually think that's a little healthier. Come out of the twist first, then retwist. If this is not for you, you don't have a block there, you could come into just standing split, opting not to twist, and practicing maybe just taking the hands onto the standing leg. So that's just another option if revolved half moon not working out. Last breath in here. And then as you exhale, find forward fold, place your foot down, place your hand down. We're going to take the feet together here and do a little cha-cha. That's what Amy calls it, I think. Bend one knee at a time, but without lifting your heel. And you just feel the hips get a nice little wiggle, little reset there in the hips. Let your head be. And if it feels lovely to linger on one side for a moment, you're more than welcome to. Just make sure you give yourself enough time to do both sides. We'll just be here for about another breath. We'll make your way back to center eventually. We'll take the feet hips width. This will make it a little easier on us. And we'll inhale, come all the way up, nice and tall. And exhale, hands, heart center. All right, all of that on the other side. So we'll begin standing. Hands might come to hips. You can keep them at the heart as long as it's helping you zip up. It's all good, right? Left leg grounds. We'll lift the left knee up, working balance here, or the right knee up, sorry about that. Can't stand on the left and lift the left at the same time. That's super advanced, okay? Arms out to the side here, getting ready to go into airplane. Bend the standing leg, that frees up the hip so that the hinge is easier. Find your drishti, your focal point. Softly gaze there. Don't stare at it like you're mad at it. You want to just kind of smile at it with your eyes. A few more breaths here, finding some adjustment. One more. Drop your foot down now in the back, but not quite so far. Hands slide to your pockets. Inhale, proud, look up a little bit. Exhale, press the hips back. Hinge down. Parsvattanasana, fold. Coming into our revolve triangle, inhale halfway. Right hand onto block. Find the place that works. And then we'll come back into revolve triangle on the left side, sweeping the left arm up. So just reminding us of the twist before we try revolved half moon. One more breath. Gaze comes to the ground so you can see where you're going. Begin to bend the front knee. Walking your right hand forward, lifting up. Now maybe kind of level it out first and then retwist. And again, if holding here isn't working, the standing split option is to unwind, bow more forward. And if you'd like to add balance in the standing split, you try to take one or two hands onto your ankle. And it's just practice, right? That's why we call it a yoga practice. It's all good. One more breath in. And exhale, everything comes back down in a forward fold. Oh, shake your head out a little. Let yourself just kind of be with super bent knees, maybe even resting your chest all the way down onto your thighs. Releasing your neck. Maybe opening and closing your mouth a few times. This can help release tension in your jaw. Last breath here. And let's inhale, half lift hands onto shins. Exhale, hands plant. Walk your way back into a high plank this time. So these are called Diablo planks, but don't let the name scare you. Totally doable here. And you could also drop your knees down to make them even more so. What we will do is drop the heels over to the left, kind of like we did in down dog, but now we're stick straight like that plank. Inhale them through center, and you'll exhale them to the other side. And we're just going to kind of whittle the middle a little bit here, this side to side. And feel how that deep belly action can help lift the hips up and over, lifting the hips up and over. So going slow with awareness, feeling your core muscles, how they integrate and work together. And we're still going, but we're cool here. Dropping the knees or coming down into child's pose or anywhere else as needed. And we're getting our last round here, you guys. You guys are amazing. And then make your way back to the center. Drop your knees, spread them out to the side. And let's come on back, child's pose. Oh, thank goodness. So now just let yourself really feel the support of the earth. Completely melt down here. Releasing the past into the past. And leaving whatever may or may not happen in the future. In the future, we have no way of knowing. Let yourself really just be here. If it's not comfortable to keep your knees wide, you can bring them together. You're more than welcome to take your hands to your feet. Any other things that feel good for you. Last few. One more breath. Coming into half pigeon, but if you'd prefer to lay on your back and do the modified version of half pigeon, the figure 4 stretch, you can come onto your back now and start to make your way there. If you would like to give the more traditional style half pigeon a try, you will make your way up into down dog. And by the way, traditions are not necessarily something we need to keep, right? They can be broken and find your own new traditions. So maybe your traditional pigeon is on the back, but if you are coming with me, you will inhale the right leg up here. Exhale, knee draws in towards the chest, and we'll let the leg come down now. The knee lands behind the wrist. Left leg comes down the center of your mat, and I use my toes to kind of help lengthen it back a little more. If your hip is feeling like it needs the support of the earth, but it can't reach it without collapsing, you will bring a block or a cushion or something underneath the right hip, and then let yourself bow down. So you want to make sure that you're not leaning into the right hip, because that's going to put wear and tear into the joint. So give yourself support as needed. And you might find that if you're here for a few breaths, you no longer need it, or you want to make it maybe a smaller support. So these are things to just notice as you're here. Find a place to rest your head. Maybe revisiting your 3-part breath. Maybe noticing how on that 3rd part, it fills the upper back now. Take a few more breaths here. One more. So if you're on your back, you'll just take time to switch your sides, crossing your left ankle now over on top of the right knee with your foot on the floor lifted. If you're in your pigeon laying on the front like me, you'll pick your hips yourself up, hands plant, curl your toes under, lift the back knee. If you like a little extra core work in the morning, like I do, you'll try to lift the right knee into the chest and then lift it up and give it a good old shake. Get some circulation going in through there, getting a little inversion action in the leg. And then you'll just place it back down gently and allow it to make contact with the earth again. And we'll switch sides. Left leg, big stretch. Exhale, knee comes towards the left wrist. Place it down. So another check-in you can do is to check in with your front thigh, left thigh on this side. It should be parallel to the edge of your mat. So with my thigh parallel, my shin is nowhere near going like perpendicular across the top, where you might have been taught that's what you want. But that's not necessarily true, right? That would be quite painful for me. So once I get my thigh lined up, wherever my shin wants to be, I just let it be. And then maybe you bow down, but sitting up and staying there can be a nice option too. It's a little different. You get more action in the back leg, the hip flexor on the right side if you don't lie down. Just accentuating the stretch here, which can be really nice. Lying down, you're putting pressure on the left hip, so the focus is more on the left hip here. I'll give you a few moments here of breath and stillness. About 3 more or so here. One more breath. To come out, we'll walk the hands to the hips, unfurl your chest here and get nice and proud. Hands come to the floor. If your block's there, just set it out of the way. Curl the back toes, lift the knee. Maybe take the left knee into the chest. Inhale the leg up there. Give it a little shake out. And then let it find the floor. Downward facing dog. Let's come onto hands and knees. And then make our way onto our backs here. Once you get there, you'll let yourself just be nice and soft and heavy. Take both knees onto your chest. Either hold onto your shins, or perhaps you can give yourself a hug here and kind of wrap the arms around the legs. Let your tailbone stay down on the ground, your head stays down on the ground. If you do need a pillow, it's totally fine to grab one though. Just want to make sure you're not yanking on the neck. You want to be restful. One more breath here. We'll make our way into our back bending posture here. So we did a lot of core work today, kind of sneaked it in there. We're going to stretch it out. Take your hands alongside you. Bend your knees with your feet on the ground. They should be parallel to each other. Try not to turn the toes out if possible. And just under the knees. On your breath in, you'll lift your hips and try to work your way up through the vertebra of the spine, finding just the perfect degree of back bend for you. And what I tend to do most times is lower down for a minute, just slightly disengage the low belly, and then re-engage it as I press back up. And I find I can get a little higher that way. That could just be me. But you're invited to try these little things too, to discover where your little nuances are. Three breaths. Shoulders might have walked a little closer towards each other for more support. Last breath in. Walk your shoulders out and then slowly come back down. As your spine comes back to this neutral place, take your hands just to the tops of your thighs and apply a gentle pressure there by pressing the heels of your hands towards the thigh creases. So what this will do for you is help elongate your spine out. Let's get a little closer to you guys. So it's just providing a gentle traction. And then we'll let ourselves come up into a happy baby from there. So you can release your hands from your legs. Start to take your feet up. Grab the outside of your feet or inside. I prefer the outside. That way I can kind of press my feet more into the hands. And bend your knees a little or a lot. Pull the knees down. You could bring it into a straddle and straighten out the legs. Feel that opening there in the inner thighs. You can even straighten one leg and not the other. And if you tried that on one side, do the other side just for a breath. And then come gently back to your happy baby and take both knees and start to circle them in towards you. Hold on to the knees. Circle them out and around and back in. So we went from our happy baby to just spiraling the knees out in one direction. And now we will spiral them in the other. Coming into our inversion here. Let's grab your block. I have to go grab mine from back here. Excuse me a moment. If you don't have a block, you can use a pillow at home or a rolled up towel or blanket, or even come into shoulder stand if you prefer. But I love a nice gentle waterfall. So let's just lift up the hips there like you're going into bridge. Take your block, probably just on the lowest height, and place it under the flat part there, just below the waist. That's your sacrum area. And we'll take one foot up and the other foot up. So the goal is to just rest. I generally find that I like to give my ankles a little movement here before I settle in for some rest. Now again, this is just something that throughout my years of practice, I've discovered I like at this moment in my practice. So if there's something that you're discovering and it might be something else, I encourage you to follow that path. Sometimes I even give my legs a little shake out, and then after a bit, you'll just be here. Let your face relax totally. Allow your tongue to drop down away from the top of your mouth. We've got several more rounds here. About 4 more breaths. 3 more. Last few. And last one. One foot at a time comes to the ground. Lift yourself up and off the block, set it to the side. We're done with that for today. Take your right knee into your chest and extend the left leg long and away. This is your wind removing pose. Interlace your fingers on your shin. Use your hands to squeeze your knee maybe around the ribs first, but then back towards center. Flex the left ankle and press the left leg long, long, long here. One more breath. And then for our final twist of our twist and cleanse practice, take your left hand onto your knee, right hand out to the side, and allow your knee to fall over. Now I'm kind of lucky, my block just happened to be there. I'm going to let my right knee just land on the block. Trying to keep both shoulders to the earth. Now if you, of course, don't need a block there, that feels good for me today. It's a happy little accident. One more breath. Let's take it on the other side. We'll unwind on the inhale. Wind relieving poses first, so actively draw the left knee in as you stretch the right out. Knee comes around the ribs maybe, and then back into the center. Squeeze it up. Let's flex both ankles. It gives a little extra oomph into this one. You want to really squeeze the legs and pull them apart. One more. And then for twist, we'll take our left arm out to the side, right hand on your left knee, and on the right knee we'll just come over and across, left knee over and across, finding your twist. Continue and stay there and breathe for a few moments. Last breath there. Taking your time to gently unwind from your final twist and begin to make your way into your Shavasana. Extending both legs long down your mat if that is comfortable for you. If you have discovered once you have done so that this is not comfortable for your lower back, then you will bend your knees with your feet on the floor, or you could bring something up under the knees, like a couple of blocks can be nice, or a bolster, pillow, whatever you need there. As you're setting yourself up, we'll check on up from the head first and make our way down to make sure that we're very comfortable. Maybe you lift your shoulders up off the earth, inch them just a little bit further from your ears one at a time, and place them gently back down. Allowing your palms to face up here. Allowing a calm sense of well-being coming down from your heart as you breathe in. And then as you exhale, you'll send that love down through the belly and across the hips, checking in with hips that they're happy. Inhaling love into the heart. And then exhaling, sending that same sense of peace further down across the legs to the feet. Just allowing yourself to be here. If your mind is active, you can continue to breathe long, slow, deep breaths, giving yourself something to focus on. One of the easiest ways to learn to meditate is by directing your focus onto one thing. That can be the breath. It could be a mantra that you're working with. Lightly focusing your eyes on the flame of a candle. All kinds of different ways. Just creating some space here for yourself to grow. In a non-judgmental place of love. And anytime you're distracted by something, you very simply start again. Taking the last few moments here for yourself. Starting to wake yourself up very slowly here, bringing a little bit of movement into your feet and your hands. Toes and fingers move. Wrists and ankles might move around. Perhaps you're rocking your head side to side. If you'd like to stay reclined for the rest of class, you're more than welcome to. But if you would like to end seated, you start to draw one knee at a time into your chest. Pausing there as you give yourself a hug. Knowing you don't have to, right? Very gently rolling off to one side to find a seat, or if you love that forward and back rock to find your seat, you may find it there. And we'll close our class today by taking our right hand and placing it over the heart. And placing the left hand over on top of the heart too. This is a nice alternate place than prayer hands, especially if you're on your back. Tuck your chin, take a last moment here to really feel all of the benefits of your practice and to remind yourself to treat yourself lovingly throughout your day. We will close again, just as we began with the sound of Om. Inhale here. Side out. And inhale for Om. I thank you all so much for being here with me today. You all did a beautiful, beautiful job and have filled my heart with so much gratitude. The love and the light in me deeply honors the love and the light in you. Namaste. Namaste.